The WLEW Sports Network presents The Strong Side with Clark Ramsey, Dave Hansen, and Paul P. Adams. The Strong Side is presented by Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, Randy's Hunting Center, 269 Guns, Thumb Bank and Trust, Thompson Chevrolet, Go Thompson, and Sure Health. Better health, better life. You're listening to the WLEW Sports Network, powered by Agra Valley Services.
In just a blink of an eye, the regular season is complete. All eyes are focused on the playoffs, and the best part, everyone gets a seat at the table. Good evening and welcome to the WLEW Sports Network's postseason special of The Strong Side on Sports Radio 102.1. Welcome to the all-new Strong Side, where you can listen in more ways than ever before, and now even watch The Strong Side on YouTube. I'm Clark Ramsey, your host, and joining me tonight via Zoom is a true professional. He even has the license to prove it. Please welcome Dave Hansen. Yes, indeed. In studio with us also is sports editor here in County View, Paul P. Adams.
Oh, it's good to be here in the West Side Ramsey Manor. It's a beautiful new studio here. I can't wait to go on this new adventure of the Strong Side.
The final regular season is away, and now we find our area teams contending with some wet and windy weather on Friday, but that didn't seem to slow down the likes of Cass City, Ubly, USA, or Caro.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Those teams were rolling. They all look to be in fine form for the playoffs, and it's hard to believe this 6-week shortened season is over, and we are ready for the playoffs.
It's all coming up on the Strong Side. You know where to go. For 5-star service in the cleanest hospital in the state of Michigan. For primary care, whether it's in Bad Axe, Elkton, Caseville, Pigeon, or Sebring, you know where to go. For walk-in care and fast care, open 362 days a year. For a certified Trauma 4 medical center, award-winning pediatrics, cardiac, pulmonary, and physical rehabilitation. For 3 senior living communities, 4 pharmacies, diabetes education, respiratory therapy, or specialty care like cardiology, podiatry, urology, orthopedics, general surgery, and ears, nose, and throat. For whatever you need in healthcare, there's only one place to go. Sure. Better health, better life. So, do you know where to go? You sure do. Are you sure? There are few things in life that are constant. Death, taxes, and back pain. And not only back pain, but your neck, your arm, your other arm, legs, feet, and other places. And it can really slow you down. It can keep you from your favorite hobbies, traveling, and even everyday life. So how do we take care of your body's aches and pains? Well, it's quite simple. Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. They have 2 convenient locations, just west of Light and Bad Axe, and on the east end of Sandusky. And they have extended hours, so there's no excuse. You don't have to be some sort of high-end athlete to be a part of Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Patient recovery and rehabilitation is the top priority of their trained professionals, no matter the injury. They work with you to create a rehab program designed for you. It's that simple. So if you want to get active, once again, go to Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Bad Axe and Sandusky. Check it out for yourself at activephysicaltherapymi.com. That's activephysicaltherapymi.com in Bad Axe and Sandusky. When it comes time to buy a new vehicle, the choice is simple. Thompson Chevrolet. located on M19 just north of Ubley. It's a short drive to find the best quality cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market. Come in and check out the award-winning Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, or the strongest, most advanced Chevy Silverado in its history. With free pickup and delivery on service appointments. With GM certified mechanics, keep your vehicle in top-performing shape year-round with Thompson Chevrolet. If your next new vehicle is not on the lot, they can get it for you, no problem at all. The latest models are here, so come in, check them out, and find out why so many go Thompson. GoThompsonChevrolet.com. Find new roads. Left side or right side, you're listening to The Strong Side on Sports Radio 1021, and now also streaming on YouTube. Clark Ramsey, Dave Hansen, and Paul P. Adams in studio one way or another via Zoom. Paul P. Adams in person. You can watch all of it on YouTube. Just go to WLW Sports, search that on YouTube, and you'll find us. Hopefully, our smiling faces, all faces for radio. Let's take a look at the area scoreboards. The regular season is over. Let's go through that final week. It will start out in 8-player football. Morris at Deckerville. In Deckerville, Morris entered the game averaging 58 points on offense. That's exactly what they scored, 58. Deckerville with 30, and Deckerville lost their last 2 of their 3 games.
Yeah, you don't see that. They lost 2 of 3 games to 2 quality opponents, Mayville and Morris. Morris looks like every bit of the state championship team that they were last year. They're going to be a really tough out in Division I and 8-player.
There's no question about it. This is more about Morris and how good they really are. Deckerville is always a solid team. They're obviously not the elite level they have been the past handful of years, but this is about Morris being dominant in this area and probably in all of 8-player football.
Moving on in other scores, we have Whitmore Prescott taking out Kingston. Kingston was supposed to play Burton Atherton, but they canceled. Whitmore Prescott canceled on them, so Kingston went out, got another game. Burton Atherton, I should say, and they lost in overtime, 28-22. Genesee takes out New Haven Merritt, 40-13. In NCTL crossover action, Mayville at North Huron, 48-28. Mayville wins by 20. Mayville, their first undefeated regular season in school history. And North Huron, home field advantage for at least the first 2 games.
First 3 games. They are the top seed in their regional. They would host all the games in that regional. That's a big deal for North Huron. And in this game in particular, North Huron led in the third quarter, was really pushed by Austin Middleton and that really good Wildcat team, made some mistakes, but I think that was a great game for North Huron to experience. They had rolled through their opponents up until this point, and they got exposed to the few things that they need to shore up if they want to make a long playoff run. So really no harm, no foul in that loss. They did be a better team because of playing Mayville.
Battle-tested. They are battle-tested now and ready for the playoffs. Tom Izzo of Michigan State is one of the best. He goes out and loses early right away, but teaches those guys what it takes to make it in the playoffs. Who's the best is, if you want to beat them, this is what they look like, and this is what we need to do better.
Flint International takes out CPS in Carsonville, 40-0. Caseville loses to Akron Fairgrove. Akron Fairgrove 50-6. In Caseville, unfortunately, out of the playoffs, they're the first team out in 8-player Division II. Akron Fairgrove is the last team in. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart, the Catholics of Mount Pleasant take out the Catholics of Bay City 14-6, and Ashley takes out Peck 30-22. Any thoughts there, gentlemen?
Oh, you feel for Caseville. They had a chance to make the playoffs for the first time ever. It was a very easy scenario. Win and you're in. Unfortunately, they didn't, but a tip of the hat to Akron Fairgrove. Even in 2020, in a watered-down playoff field, to make the playoffs is still a big deal, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen for Caseville. I really do like their coach, Sam Rogers. He's enthusiastic, and it's a very young team, so hopefully Caseville continues to learn and make progress here, but they're not going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, hats off to Akron Fairgrove because they do get to go to the playoffs, so they get to reap the benefit of this crazy 2020 season. But other than that, the rest of those teams, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're really not a team that I feel will make a very deep run in the playoffs.
Moving on into the 11-player football. How about that? Caro as at Burton Bendel. And the Caro Tigers get their third victory of the season, 28-6 over Bendel. Lakers played on Thursday night at Tawas on the other side of the bay there due to a lack of referees. They couldn't get on Friday, so they played on Thursday with the JV. Lakers wins 44-3. Tawas scores a field goal in the first quarter, nothing after that. Cass City takes care of Marlette in Marlette, 50-0. Sandusky hosts Reese in a game that saw 7 lead changes in the first 37 minutes of the game. No team scored 2 touchdowns in a row until Sandusky pulled away in the fourth quarter. Sandusky finishes the regular season at 6-0, 36-28 over Reese. Brown City 36, Vassar 14, and the Ugly Bearcats 34, Bad Axe 0.
The game that stands out to me is Reese and Sandusky. That was I was keeping track of that on Twitter, and it was, like you said, going back and forth. And that's a big red flag to me for Sandusky. All year, you don't question their offense, but they have given up points to everybody, points and yards to everybody. They were lit up through the air by Harbor Beach. And on the flip side of that, Reese is a team that I wouldn't want to play right now. They're 2-4, but don't be fooled by that record. They beat Lakers. They gave Sandusky all they could handle. I don't have the playoff pairings in front of me, but I wouldn't want to face Reese right now because that's a dangerous team with nothing to lose and could knock off anybody that they're facing.
Probably the most improved team from week 1 till now would be the Reese Rockets, but the game that stood out to me was over there in Ubley. I mean, the Bad Axe Hatchets are now a share of the Western Conference champions based on the way this season went. And the Ubley Bearcats invite them into town and absolutely pour the coals to them, 34-0. This is a very young Bearcat team, another team that I don't think I'd want to run into in the playoffs either. That ground game has always been good, but that defense is starting to come around.
And the game of the week on the LW Sports Network was USA on the road in week number 9 at Harbor Beach, a crossover game that's taken place every year since 1973, and the USA Patriots made it count. They started out with a 9-minute and 5-second drive, marching down the entire length of the field, capped off with a Braylon Ballard 9-yard run. The 2-point conversion from Gettle was good, and it's 8-0 USA, and then Harbor Beach gets the ball back. They march down the field. They get down to the USA 1-yard line, and they cannot punch it in. USA holds strong on the goal line in turnover on downs. USA then responds 3 plays later with a 92-yard run from Braylon Ballard. The 2-point conversion failed, but by that time it was 14-0 USA in the second quarter. 1:26 before the half is over. Walker Foley from 3 yards out for USA punches in the third score of the night. Braylon Ballard with a 2-point conversion makes it 22-0 at halftime. And Harbor Beach cannot do anything coming out of halftime. They 3-and-out immediately and give the ball back to USA. 4:34 left in the third. Connor Gettle with a 15-yard quarterback draw into the end zone. 2-point conversion. The pass failed. 28-0 USA. And then 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They put on a running clock on Harbor Beach in Harbor Beach with another Connor Gettle 10-yard run. 2-point conversion from Noah Crum is good, and it's USA 36, Harbor Beach nothing. USA finishes the regular season at 4-2 on a 2-game winning streak.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, what a game this was. We've all kind of felt that USA was playing their best ball coming into this game, and Harbor Beach was kind of sputtering. But this was an absolutely outstanding performance. Just when you thought Harbor Beach might have a chance, their drive gets right down to the goal line. They have 4 tries inside the 5, and on 4th and 1, they get tackled short. 3 plays later, Braylon Ballard busts out a 92-yard touchdown run, and that's kind of where the game just got out of hand. But Harbor Beach has had no answer for the running game, and USA, with all that wind and rain, they exposed them of that. Braylon Ballard, 214 yards on the ground. He outrushed the entire Harbor Beach offense by himself. Dominating performance, but it comes down to Connor Gettle sliding into that quarterback role. He has settled in nicely and has added a new dynamic to that team. Some of the things you haven't even seen yet.
Yeah, I agree, Dave. I was there for the first half, and you got to feel like if Harbor Beach punches that first drive in, it scores there, this game, USA is probably still going to win the game, but it looks different. Harbor Beach was just demoralized after not scoring. And if they weren't demoralized after not scoring, they were demoralized 3 plays later when Braylon Ballard took that 92 yards to the house, and Harbor Beach just had nothing left after that. It was a terrific drive. I think that really gets lost in all the hoopla that we're giving USA, and USA deserves all the credit that they're getting, but that was a terrific opening drive for Harbor Beach. Took it right down. Looked like we could have a back and forth affair, but stalling out there at the goal line, that was it, and really mustered nothing the rest of the way. But now going on to USA, you already mentioned it, Dave. Since Connor Gettle has switched to quarterback, Ethan Engelhart got hurt against Lakers. That was such an unfortunate injury, and you could tell that the USA offense was really out of sorts against Lakers. But once they got to practice and knew Gettle was going to be the quarterback, we got to see kind of some of the potential, and they showed that against Cass City, and even in that loss against Cass City, how explosive and diverse that this offense can truly be. And I think USA is the team that's improving by leaps and bounds every single week, and is really has, to me, the most momentum of any team, maybe not named Cass City, going into the playoffs. USA just feels like it is playing its best ball on both sides of the ball right now, and I wouldn't want to face USA at all in the playoffs.
Yeah, you look at it, Connor Gettle hasn't even started to throw the ball yet. He is an all-around athlete. He's a great defender. He's an excellent runner of the football, as we've seen for the 3 years prior to this. But him touching the football every single play is turning out to be a very big advantage for that USA offense.
When it all was said and done, USA ended up with 44 carries for 362 yards on the evening and 5 touchdowns, passing the ball not a single time with the exception of a 2-point conversion attempt. Harbor Beach with 27 carries for 130 yards, just 2 completions and 9 tries from Dylan Kadar for 15 total yards. Braylon Ballard leading the way with 18 carries for USA, 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 12 yards per carry and carried the ball 41% of the time for USA. Walker Foley, 14 carries, 85 yards and a touchdown, 6 yards per carry. Connor Gettle, 5 carries, 32 yards and 2 scores. And Noah Crum, 7 carries for 31 yards. Keegan Bixman with 5 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Jeremiah Hahn, 4 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Harbor Beach, not a single tackle for a loss or a sack. Harbor Beach now at the 500 mark entering the postseason at 3-3 with a 1-game losing streak. USA has won the past 2, and both will be in the same district in Division 8 of the playoffs, but we'll have more on that once later in the show here on the Strong Side, as it's time for a short break. When we return, we'll take a look at the Bad Axe Hatchets in the Ugly Bearcats right here on Sports Radio 102.1. Death, taxes, and back pain. And not only back pain, but your neck, your arm, your other arm, legs, feet, and other places. And it can really slow you down. It can keep you from your favorite hobbies, traveling, and even everyday life. So how do we take care of your body's aches and pains? Well, it's quite simple. Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. They have 2 convenient locations, just west of Light and Bad Axe, and on the east end of Sandusky. And they have extended hours, so there's no excuse. You don't have to be some sort of high-end athlete to be a part of Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Patient recovery and rehabilitation is the top priority of their trained professionals, no matter the injury. They work with you to create a rehab program designed for you. It's that simple. So if you want to get active, once again, go to Active Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine in Bad Axe and Sandusky. Check it out for yourself at activephysicaltherapymi.com. That's activephysicaltherapymi.com in Bad Axe and Sandusky.
Get into hunting season with the help of Randy's Hunting Center in Bad Axe. Look for the 40-foot-tall log cabin showroom with over 40 wildlife mounts from around the world. Randy's can install your scope and sight in your gun at their range. Just set the dial and be ready for the shot of your lifetime with the help of Randy's Hunting Center. Over 4,500 new rifles, shotguns, and handguns in stock, including the Ruger American Rifle in .450 Bushmaster and .350 Legend. Over 190 variations of the .450 Bushmaster, including the Ruger 450 AR, an exclusive Go Wild with 16-inch heavy barrel and factory muzzle brake with bronze Cerakote finish and camouflage stock. We also have the new Barnes and subsonic ammo for the .450 on hand, along with plenty of pistols and AR rifles in stock.
Hi, I'm Randy Brown. Get your best deal at Randy's Hunting Center at the east end of Bad Axe. Call 269-GUNS, 989-269-GUNS.
When it comes time to buy a new vehicle, the choice is simple. Thompson Chevrolet. Located on M19 just north of Ubley, it's a short drive to find the best quality cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market. Come in and check out the award-winning Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, or the strongest, most advanced Chevy Silverado in its history. With free pickup and delivery on service appointments. With GM-certified mechanics, keep your vehicle in top-performing shape year-round with Thompson Chevrolet. If your next new vehicle is not on the lot, they can get it for you, no problem at all. The latest models are here, so come in, check them out, and find out why so many go Thompson. GoThompsonChevrolet.com. Find new roads. Left side or right side, you're listening to The Strong Side on Sports Radio 1021, live and worldwide at WLEWSports.com, and now streaming live on YouTube. Welcome to all of our YouTube listeners and viewers out there. Just go to YouTube and search for WLEW Sports, and we certainly should pop up there. And hit subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single moment of The Strong Side. Let's take a look at the second game we're talking about today. The Ubley Bearcats hosting the Bad Axe Hatchets. Bad Axe, of course, coming off of a big win, clinching a share of the Greater Thumb West title with a win at Lakers, and now they continue their road trip to Ubley. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned. For these Ubley Bearcats, though, things did go, and it was the Carson Hleski show for the first 3 quarters of the game. 3 minutes into the ball game, Carson Hleski breaks out for a 49-yard run. The 2-point conversion's good, and Ubley's leading 8-0. 6 minutes later, Ubley with the Carson Hleski 8-yard run with his second score of the night, 14-0 Ubley. On to the second quarter, 2 minutes before the half is over, Carson Hleski says, I'm going to score another one. 4 yards this time for his third score of the night. 2-point conversion fails, and it's Ubley 20-0 at halftime. Moving on to the third quarter, 4 minutes left. Carson Hleski with his fourth and final score of the evening, the 2-yard run. 2-point conversion fails, is 26-0 Ubley. And then 5:52 left in the fourth quarter, Logan Mueller with a 32-yard run for the Ubley Bearcats. Mueller also with a 2-point conversion makes it Ubley 34-0. And the Bearcats go on for the shutout victory in week number 9. And a big win for the Bearcats and holding Bad Axe to just 3 yards rushing on the entire evening.
Yeah, I know that this is a surprising score. And I think it is somewhat of a surprising score, but you got to go back a week, and this tells the story. Ubley beat Brown City pretty handedly, 48-12, but they were really unhappy with their defense in that game, gave up over 200 yards rushing, and Coach Jim Becker is back running that Ubley defense and really challenged that defense to get better, and they did. This is a very good Bad Axe team that they absolutely shut down. So I say this, a lot of credit goes to Ubley, their coaching staff, the players for buying in and not being happy with just a win over Brown City. They wanted to come out, prove a point that they were a good team, a really good team that could possibly make a playoff run. And I think they did that. This is, to me, hands down, this is Ubley's best performance of the year on both sides of the ball.
What a great time to have it, too. I mean, we're talking right the week before the playoffs, and you make this statement of a win. Bad Axe was just coming off one of their biggest wins, maybe of the decade, last week. So maybe they celebrated too hard. I'm not sure. But this was a very disappointing effort from Bad Axe. Carson Hleski's touchdown run, the first one, was longer than all of the offense that Bad Axe could accumulate in 4 full quarters. So the Ubley defense is getting better. They're not elite, though, by any means. So the Bad Axe offense was completely disrupted, and I think that set a toll for the defense, too. Bad field position, giving short fields to the Ubley Bearcats, and they will take advantage of that. And it's no surprise that Jim Becker has a say in what's going on in this defense, because the guy is a magician. You can give him anything, and he can just make it better. And there's no doubt in my mind that he is going to help them make a playoff run starting next week. I want
to put those 34 points into perspective that Ubley scored against Bad Axe. In Bad Axe's previous 4 games, they had allowed 14 points. And that includes 7 points against Lakers. So that Bad Axe defense had become the strength of the team and Ubley dismantled that defense. So on the offensive side, as much as Ubley was challenged to have a good defensive performance on the offensive side, you really got to put that in perspective too. 2 guys over 160 yards rushing, amazing performance offensively against still a very good and improved Bad Axe defense. This was a very, very good showing and should be a wake-up call for anybody in that Division 8 district. Do not take the Bearcats lightly.
Ubley ends up with...
As for Bad Axe, this is definitely an eye-opener for them. But I just got to mention a first-team all-conference defender, Nolan Van Erp, a guy that I've been waiting to see, showed up with 11 tackles on Friday night, big time. And if there's one thing Ubley has to get better at, they got to start getting those 2-point conversions. Those will be huge when these games get closer.
Ubley ends up with 370 rushing yards on the night. Carson Lesky with 18 carries, 161 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Logan Mueller with 16 carries, 164 yards, and a score. Evan Peruski, the quarterback, freshman, 9 carries, 27 yards, and Colin Oberski, 5 carries for 21 yards, and Bad Axe with a total of 36 yards on offense. Bad Axe finishes the regular season at 4-2. Ubley as well at 4-2, but holding a 3-game winning streak entering the postseason. Like Dave said, Nolan Van Erp leading the Ubley defense with 11 tackles. Carson Lesky close behind with 8 tackles, including 1 interception. We'll have plenty as both of the Ubley in Division 8, Bad Axe in Division 7 in the MHSAA playoffs, and we'll have all those details coming up in our last segment this evening. It's time for another short break on the strong side. When we return, we'll take a look at our next game. That's Cass City and Marlette right here on Sports Radio 102.1, home of the strong side.
We are flying.
Look for the 40-foot-tall log cabin showroom with over 40 wildlife mounts from around the world. Randy's can install your scope and sight in your gun at their range. Just set the dial and be ready for the shot of your lifetime with the help of Randy's Hunting Center. Over 4,500 new rifles, shotguns, and handguns in stock, including the Ruger American Rifle in .450 Bushmaster and .350 Legend. Over 190 variations of the .450 Bushmaster, including the Ruger .450 AR, an exclusive Go Wild with 16-inch heavy barrel and factory muzzle brake with bronze Cerakote finish and camouflage stock. We also have the new Barnes and subsonic ammo for the .450 on hand, along with plenty of pistols and AR rifles in stock.
Hi, I'm Randy Brown. Get your best deal at Randy's Hunting Center at the east end of Bad Axe. Call 269-GUNS, 989-269-GUNS.
This is Mike LePage from Thumb Bank and Trust. At Thumb Bank, we are a proud supporter of our local communities and school athletics. No team is complete without a good coach. Let Thumb Bank and Trust be your guide for the personal service, professional excellence, and 125 years of financial experience that any team needs to succeed. Stop by any of our offices and let us show you the winning difference that is Thumb Bank. Thumb Bank and Trust with offices in Pigeon, Cass City, Caseville, Bad Axe, and Bay City. Community Strong for 125 years is an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
When it comes time to buy a new vehicle, the choice is simple. Thompson Chevrolet. Located on M19 just north of Ubley, it's a short drive to find the best quality cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market. Come in and check out the award-winning Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, or the strongest, most advanced Chevy Silverado in its history. With free pickup and delivery on service appointments. With GM-certified mechanics, keep your vehicle in top-performing shape year-round with Thompson Chevrolet. If your next new vehicle is not on the lot, they can get it for you, no problem at all. The latest models are here, so come in, check them out, and find out why so many go Thompson. GoThompsonChevrolet.com. Find new roads. Left side or right side, you're listening to The Strong Side on Sports Radio 102.1 and now also streaming live on YouTube. Thank you to all of our viewers and listeners tonight. Just go to YouTube and search for WLW Sports. The Strong Side will pop right up. And hit that subscribe button. Clark Ramsey, Dave Hansen, Paul P. Adams with our debut of The Strong Side, a week late, but heck, It's 2020. Why not? Moving on into the Greater Thumb West, we have a crossover game between the co-champions of the West, Cass City, at Marlette, who made a run in the first 3 weeks at 3-0, but Marlette finishes the season at 0-3, finishing a 500 rally. All right, let's take a look. It's the Cameron Gottschalk show here for the Cass City Redhawks. He had the first 4 scores, 8 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and 6 minutes in the first half was all Cameron Gottschalk, a 22, 21, 29, and 12-yard run. He also had a 2-point conversion there, and then Bryce Fernald also had a pass to Noah Zaleski, making it 28-0 halfway through the second quarter. 5:09 remains in the second quarter, and Alex Perry with a 35-yard run makes it 36-0 after Alex Perry also with a 2-point conversion, and it's 36-0 at halftime. Coming out of the halftime locker rooms halfway through the third, Bryce Fernald keeps it for himself for a 7-yard run. 2-point conversion from Cameron Gottschalk, and it makes it 44-0 Cass City. And then with 1:16 left in regulation, obviously a running clock by this point, Cass City's defense, Tyler Kumper, comes up with a interception, returns it for 17 yards in the score, and it makes it 50-0 Cass City over the Marlette Red Raiders, and Cass City rolling into the postseason with a huge win over Marlette. Dave Hansen, what are your thoughts here?
Wow, what a performance by Cameron Gottschalk. But I want to point out that no ball carrier for the Cass City Redhawks had more than 9 carries on the game. Cameron had 9, Alex Perry had 8, Denny Nagley had 8, Bryce Fernald only had 4, Zaleski only had 3. So the fact that Gottschalk was able to score all the touchdowns, they all came from 20 yards, it seems like. So they weren't intentionally using Cameron to score all the touchdowns. It just happened he broke free when he got the ball, because Alex Perry had 8 carries for 82 yards in a score. He was averaging 10 yards a carry. So just a domination. That tells me that the offensive line of Cass City absolutely pushed Marlette backwards, and these running backs took full advantage of it.
You know, last year we all knew the names of Cass City. They had become household names, and we wondered who was going to be the new guys to step in. And now what you're seeing an established program, and it is the next man up. And that next man here is Cameron Gottschalk. And hey, look, there's another Perry on the team. I don't know what year of eligibility he is in, but it's always nice to see him. And Bryce Fernald in at quarterback. This Cass City team, it's a pure program now. They reached levels that they hadn't been to before. That district title that had eluded them, that emotional regional championship, got them to a state semifinal. Now these players have that taste, and they want more of it. And they have the experience, and they have the coaching staff that can get them there. This is a dangerous Cass City team. You look at that district, looks like on the outside, probably headed towards a showdown with Hemlock, and that should be a dandy of a game. But this Cass City team has really proven that they were not a one-year wonder last year. This team's legit. I think they're a little sore when we call them Greater Thumb West champions, but that they're going to have to deal with that, and maybe they'll get their shot at that Bad Axe down the road. But hey, maybe that's what they're using as motivation, and they took it out on poor Marlette here.
Well, I'm sure Scott Cothrell will take any motivation that he personally needs for the team, and it looks like they don't need much at all. Cameron Gottschalk leads the way, 9 carries, 120 yards, and 4 scores. Alex Perry, 8 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Dustin Nagley, 8 carries, 57 yards. Bryce Fernald, 4 carries, 51 yards, and a score. Noah Zaleski, 3 carries for 26 yards. Didn't attempt a pass on the night except for a 1-2-point conversion, which was good. And here's the crazy part. Cass City's defense, they held Marlette Marlette had 25 carries on the night, rushing the ball for negative 14 yards. Not a single rushing yard for Marlette, and then through the air they had 18 yards. Altogether, Marlette's offense was held to 4 yards thanks to Cass City's defense.
And that's what Cass City staked its claim on last year, was the defense. And when I go back to that USA game, that's what surprised me so much, is how USA was able to move the ball so freely against Cass City. And I think that's what, going back to USA for just a second, what makes USA so deadly. USA moved the ball on this Cass City defense, and when you look at Cass City's body of work, nobody's been able to move the ball on them. So I think Cass City has a great defense, and if you're USA, you can move the ball against a great defense as well. So Kudos to this Cass City defense picking up where it left off last year.
That's how they're going to win playoffs games, with defense like that. They only allowed 4 completions on 11 attempts, picked off 2 passes to boot, took one of them to the house. This defense is rolling, and I think they used that USA game as motivation. They were unhappy with that performance also. You said the same thing about Ubley, how they gave up so many yards to Brown City. Well, I think Cass City got their eyes opened by how good USA is, and they realized that they need to learn from that game. Happy that they won, and they took it out on the poor Marlette Red Raiders.
Cass City ends the regular season at 6-0 in overall, 4-0 in divisional play. A 6-game winning streak. Marlette finishes the season at 3-3 altogether on a 3-game losing streak after starting the season 3-0. Moving on in the Greater Thumb West, we have the Elkton Pigeon Bayport Lakers as they traveled around the bay onto the other side to Tawas there. Too bad they don't have that bridge built from Sandpoint over there yet, but they had to play on Thursday, thanks in part due to a lack of referees available. So the JV played as well as the varsity in a light mist coming off the bay the entire night. A beautiful night for football. And Zach Kretschmer starts the scoring out for the Lakers with an 11-yard run. The 2-point conversion from big man Ethan Wisner makes it 8-0 Lakers, and they did not look back, despite Tawas scoring a field goal on the ensuing score. Ring the bell for the first time this season. And been waiting. Just wait. We have more bells in the future. Just wait for it. Logan Collison Russell fouls that up with a 21-yard run. The 2-point conversion from Kretschmer is good, making it 16-3 Lakers. Zach Kretschmer with another 5-yard run. Ethan Wisner in the second quarter with a 1-yard run. Connor McCain with the run makes it 30-3. Then Connor McCain throws a 16-yard pass to Garrett Bowles. The 2-point conversion is no good, but it's 36-3 Lakers at the half. They score another 8 points in the third quarter with a Zach Kretschmer 43-yard run. The 2-point conversion from Ethan Wisner makes it 44-3, a running clock scenario from there forward. And the final score, Lakers 44, Tawas 3 in the final week of the regular season.
I bet on record, in Huron County, Lakers, player for player, is the most talented team that we feature. When you look at what they have on the line, the size that they feature, experienced quarterback, the running backs that they can throw out. They do lack speed, and that's one thing that they'd like to fix. But hey, they have the power and they have the ability to control games. This is exactly what Lakers needed. Coming off a really disappointing loss to Bad Axe, an inexplicable loss to Reese, they needed something to gain some momentum, start feeling good about themselves as they go into the playoffs. And 44-3, there's really not much you can nitpick other than, hey, they got a field goal. But when you look at that backfield, really good distribution with Kretschmer, Collison, Russell, and Wisner. We saw up close and personal how good Wisner can be if he's rolling, what he did against USA. This is a team that this game came at the right time for a really good team, and they're definitely going to be motivated as they go into the playoffs. Very rarely do you get a chance to make up for a horrible loss just a few weeks after it happened, and that's what Lakers has, and now they have momentum. Bad Axe has no momentum. We'll talk about that later, but this is what Lakers needed.
Just what the doctor ordered, man. Did they need this? And it was a good get-right game for Lakers. I love the ball distribution, as you mentioned. 3 different guys with 8+ carries. We saw a bunch of different guys get in the end zone. Kretschmer, Collison, Russell, Wisner. McCain threw a touchdown to Bowles. That's what this team needed. Let's get everybody get in the end zone. Everybody's feeling good. Let's get some good feeling going back in this team, because when this year started, if I asked you guys to put down what team you thought would win the West in order, Lakers was in that conversation. They were absolutely in the top 3 with Cass City and USA. We've certainly felt that any one of those 3 teams could win. And listen, they've struggled. And turnovers have been an issue, and they've cleaned that up. And that's what's going to take if they're going to win in the playoffs. You cannot make those mistakes. You cannot lose focus. And this team absolutely picked up the pieces, put it together, and they're ready for the playoffs.
To me, this is the beauty of what the MHSAA did with having everybody in the playoffs. It allowed a team like Lakers to have a couple of hiccups against Reese and against Bad Axe. It didn't cost them a playoff berth, might have cost them seeding, but they're still in the playoffs, and they still have an opportunity. Now they have an opportunity to make up for one of those losses and put a run together and get to a district championship. So this is an odd year. When you're playing 6 games and you didn't have a lot of prep, some of those games that you shouldn't lose, those are going to sneak in. We've seen that across the state and across the thumb, and I think that may be what happened to Lakers. But like I said, no harm, no foul. They're in the playoffs, and they have all the talent to make it to a district championship.
Garrett Bowles had the 2 receptions for 33 yards on the night with 1 touchdown. Zach Kretschmer leads the rushing attack with 12 carries for 134 yards of the 3 scores. Logan Carlson-Russell, who I think I'm going to start calling him LCR, just so you think he has the longest name in the Greater Thumb Conference. LCR had 8 carries and 81 yards and a score. Ethan Wisner, 8 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. Connor McCain, the quarterback, 2 for 2 for 33 yards and a score. Tawas finishes the regular season at 0-6. Lakers at 4-2, going into the postseason with that 1-game win streak on their side. Lakers in Division 7, and they will have a rematch coming up, which they will be certainly looking forward to. And we are as well, and it's time for a short break here on the Strong Side, streaming live on YouTube as well as Sports Radio 1021 and live and worldwide at WLEWsports.com. Up next, we'll talk about the playoffs. That's right, Jim Moore, the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
And handguns in stock, including the Ruger American Rifle in .450 Bushmaster and .350 Legend. Over 190 variations of the .450 Bushmaster, including the Ruger 450 AR, an exclusive Go Wild with 16-inch heavy barrel and factory muzzle brake with bronze Cerakote finish and camouflage stock. We also have the new Barnes and subsonic ammo for the .450 on hand, along with plenty of pistols and AR rifles in stock.
Hi, I'm Randy Brown. Get your best deal at Randy's Hunting Center at the east end of Bad Axe. Call 269-GUNS, 989-269-GUNS.
When it comes time to buy a new vehicle, the choice is simple. Thompson Chevrolet. Located on M19 just north of Ubley, it's a short drive to find the best quality cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market. Come in and check out the award-winning Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, or the strongest, most advanced Chevy Silverado in its history. With free pickup and delivery on service appointments. With GM-certified mechanics, keep your vehicle in top-performing shape year-round with Thompson Chevrolet. If your next new vehicle is not on the lot, they can get it for you, no problem at all. The latest models are here, so come in, check them out, and find out why so many go Thompson. GoThompsonChevrolet.com. Find new roads.
For 125 years, we've taken a large measure of pride in our community support. Nowhere is this more evident than our spirit shared with our area school sports teams. Hi, this is Brent Wayner from Thumb Bank and Trust. It takes hard work and dedication to make a team succeed. At Thumb Bank, we're the team of financial experts working for your success. Whether it be for your college education, your home, a car loan, agribusiness, commercial lending, or a checking, savings, or retirement account, we'll help you achieve your goals and win in the game of life. Stop by one of our offices today and let's see what we can do for you. Thumb Bank and Trust, with offices in Pigeon, Cass City, Caseville, Bad Axe, and Bay City. Community strong for 125 years. Is an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
Left side or right side, you're listening to The Strong Side on Sports Radio 1021, live and worldwide at WLEWsports.com, and now also streaming live on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for WLEW Sports. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you don't miss a minute of The Strong Side. We've talked about week number 9. You hear the music. That means it's time to make the sausage. No, it's time for Seinfeld reference there. I apologize. It's going back a few years. No, it's time for the playoffs. Let's take a look. Everyone is in this year with the way COVID is happening, so everyone is in. And in Division 7, instead of just 4 teams in a district, we now have 8 teams in a district. And that goes as such in Division 7. Hemlock, Cass City, Sandusky, Bad Axe, Lakers, St. Charles, Reese, and Vassar. That is your Division 7, 1 through 8 seeded based off of the new point scheme. So Hemlock and Cass City are the 1 and 2 seeds. They will be on the opposite sides of the bracket. So here are the listings. Hemlock hosts Vassar. Bad Axe hosts Lakers. Remember that one. Sandusky hosts St. Charles, and Cass City hosts Reese. This is your Division 7 matchup here. So the game of the week coming up on Sports Radio 102.1 this Friday, as coverage beginning at 6 p.m. with kickoff at 6:55 p.m. technically per MHSAA. It'll be somewhere in there. But we will be covering the rematch between the Bad Axe Hatchets and the Elkton Pigeon Bayport Lakers. Kickoff this Friday, October 30th, Halloween Eve. Oh boy, here we go. And Dave, I do believe the last time we covered a Lakers Halloween football game,
I remember this.
It felt like the tower was going to turn sideways, perhaps, on that one.
You're absolutely right. Remember that storm you were in when we were setting up for Harbor Beach? It felt like that, except for about 3/4 of the game. Yes, it certainly felt like it was moving, but life's full of small challenges, and that year that was a small challenge compared to what 2020's been.
So let's talk about this division here, or district in Division 7 specifically here. So, of course, we have Lakers and Bad Axe, a rematch this coming Friday, a game you'll hear on the WLW Sports Network. But there's others. Obviously, we have, 6 local teams here. Vassar, Bad Axe, Lakers, Sandusky, Cass City, and Reese, comprising of the 6 of the 8 teams here. Paul P. Adams, of course, there's Cass City and Reese, that 2 and 7 matchup. And even though Reese is a number 7 matchup, that's a dangerous team to be a 7 seed going into Cass City.
Well, they took the Greater Thumb East champion right to the wire. Really could have won that game. So they're going to have Cass City's full attention. But this is the M81 rivalry. You don't have to get up if you're Cass City to play Reese. They didn't play in the regular season, so Cass City will have they'll be on full alert in this game. But Reese has proven a lot here after a really rough start when they beat Lakers. Really kind of turned their season around and then playing toe-to-toe with Sandusky. So this is a tricky little matchup. Cass City should win this game, but don't be surprised if this game is close for at least a half.
Dave,
I think we're on a collision course to see Cass City Sandusky, which I think could be a very quality football game as well. But they're very fortunate that they don't have to run into Hemlock. One of those teams is going to run into them, but it'll be for the district championship.
So, speaking of Hemlock there, so you have Hemlock and Vassar and Bad Axe and Lakers on that side of the district. And so you're looking at it, whoever wins that Bad Axe Lakers games has to go up against Hemlock. Hemlock beat Millington, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
12-6 or 12-0. It was
12-6.
12-6, a very good Hemlock team, a big enough tower. That's all I really care about these days. But so Hemlock will go on and host either Bad Axe or Lakers in that second round. And then, of course, just a collision course between some of our Greater Thumb Conference teams here. So, yeah, we have Cass City and Reese on the other side. And then, Dave, we were at that last time Cass City and Cass City and Sandusky faced off in the playoffs. And that was, I do believe, a 7-6 win?
Was that the 7-0 game at Sandusky?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
The one score in the final 90 seconds, I do believe, for Sandusky.
Yes, it was. There was a deep pass late in that game. We hadn't seen a pass all game, and didn't Sandusky hit a pass late in the game to win?
Yes,
that's exactly.
Yeah, that was a great classic game there. Yeah. But we got to talk about the elephant in the room, the most tantalizing matchup, the rematch. Bad Axe and
let's
Lakers.
talk about it.
In that first game, Bad Axe forced 5 turnovers. Lakers turned over the ball, fumbled the ball 5 times, and Bad Axe made them pay for every single one of them. Those came at the worst time, and Bad Axe cashed those in. And that's what I said was so impressive about what Ubley did to that defense. Put 34 on them, a defense that really led Bad Axe to the win over Lakers. Can Bad Axe duplicate that performance defensively? Because they were good offensively, Bad Axe was, but defensively, that's where it happened. And Lakers, to use Coach Verberg's own words, shot themselves in the foot a couple of times with those turnovers and some untimely penalties. And you can't do that against a pretty decent opponent. So the recipe was there. Force turnovers, take advantage of them. Can Bad Axe duplicate that effort and get that many turnovers and cash those in again? They proved it once. Now you got to follow it up, and you're going to face such a motivated opponent. There's be nobody more motivated than Lakers to erase what happened on their home field, on homecoming. Bad Axe celebrated a league championship at Lakers. Now Lakers could celebrate a district win at Bad Axe and end Bad Axe's season.
I really think this game comes down to how Bad Axe responds to the loss they had this past week. Devastating loss. The Ugly Bearcats just blew the doors off this game. So how do they recover from that loss? I mean, that could be a demoralizing loss, or it could be a, oh, wow, we need to get better, or we're going to lose again. So I can't wait to see what the game plan is when they come back and face Lakers. I think it's going to be an awesome ball game from beginning to finish.
And if that's not enough for you, the winner of all these games has to go on and play Hemlock at some point. And then if you get out of the district, you have to play, just a few teams here called Ithaca, I do believe it's called, and then another team I've never heard of, Pewamo, Westphalia. The back-to-back state champions in Division 7, going all the way back to when Lakers lost to them in the regional final. They've won ever since.
You've got Ithaca dropping down from Division 6 to Division 7. You've got a blue blood there that their state championship runs speak for themselves. You've got a blue blood with Pewamo. You've got a powerhouse with Hemlock. You've got Cass City, who was in the state semifinals just a year ago. This district, this regional, is absolutely loaded with state caliber teams. I mean, the state champion could easily come out of this region.
Yeah, keep in mind, Hemlock has the most technical points earned out of all these teams. So there's going to be some very quality football games here, and hopefully it's one of our teams taking on the likes of Ithaca or Pewamo, Westphalia.
Moving on to Division 8. These are the smallest division in 11-player football, and we have our local teams here. We have Harbor Beach, USA, Marlette, Ubly, and Brown City all in this local district. The number 1 seed, the Flint Beecher Bucks, with 37.5 points. The number 2 seed, though, with Ubly winning on Friday, they secure that number 2 seed. Ubly with 28.5 points, they are the 2 seed. USA close behind in the 3 seed, then Harbor Beach at the 4 seed. Those are your 4 teams. They'll be hosting a first-round game in Division 8, and then there's Saginaw MLS, the Lutherans of Saginaw, Marlette, Brown City, and then Flint New Standard, which is a low standard with 6 points. You have your I'm sorry. Gonna get booted off here at some point. Flint Beecher and Flint New Standard face off on Friday in Flint. But then here's a few matchups here. So Saginaw MLS travels to Harbor Beach. On the other side of the bracket, USA hosts Marlette and Ubly hosts Brown City. So Ubly and Brown City definitely know each other. They've played each other in the East many years and many moons now. USA and Marlette, they didn't play this year. I think that was the only game that USA didn't play.
I researched this. They haven't played since 2017. They've only played 7 times overall. USA's won all 7 matchups. So this is not a regular matchup. This is kind of one of those 2020 COVID matchups. We normally probably wouldn't see Marlette against USA in the playoffs, but here we are. USA is obviously a heavy favorite in the game, no doubt about it. I mean, when you look at this district, no disrespect to Flint Beecher, but I'm about to disrespect Flint Beecher. The 2 best teams in this district are USA and Ubly, and they're going to play in the second round. And the winner is going to go to Flint Beecher, and the winner is going to win that district. That's just how good Ubly and USA are. We got robbed of seeing Ubly USA matchup. Usually they start the season, and we love seeing that season opener. And we're going to get it. And that's one good thing about the playoffs is we're going to get Ubly and USA to play each other. Winner goes to the district championship, and I believe the winner wins the district championship. And when you look at the region, there's no reason to think that Ubly or USA can't make a run to the state semifinals.
I completely agree, and it's too bad that USA and Ubly and Cass City Sandusky are on a collision course to play on the same weekend, because I think those are two of our best games, our 4 best teams probably in this area facing off in the second round. And we're probably only going to be able to cover one of those games, but really looking forward to an Ubly team that's coming on strong and a USA team that is in the same boat, just coming on strong, had to recover from their quarterback getting hurt. And they've sped that process up, looking really good here heading into the playoffs.
It's time for a short break. When we return, we'll wrap this thing up in our first week of the Strong Side. It's the postseason special. You're listening to Sports Radio 102.1. 3 senior living communities.
Honestly, it's a variety of things. Convenience, quality of living, and peace of mind. Our residents don't have to worry about home maintenance, mowing the lawn, doing laundry in the basement, and the big one, shoveling snow in the winter.
So, how can everyone find out more about Sure Senior Living?
The best place to start is to go to the Senior Living section on sure.org. We have a lot of information available on there for your convenience.
So that's sure.org/senior living. Or just go to the Services tab and click on Senior Living.
Whether you're interested in Country Bay Village, Country Gardens, or long-term care, check it out and see what kind of great resource we have right here in our own backyard.
That's sure.org/senior living. Sure Senior Living. Better health, better life.
This is Mike LePage from Thumb Bank and Trust. At Thumb Bank, we are a proud supporter of our local communities and school athletics. No team is complete without a good coach. Let Thumb Bank and Trust be your guide for the personal service, professional excellence, and 125 years of financial experience that any team needs to succeed. Stop by any of our offices and let us show you the winning difference that is Thumb Bank. Thumb Bank and Trust with offices in Pigeon, Cass City, Caseville, Bad Axe, and Bay City. Community Strong for 125 years is an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
When it comes time to buy a new vehicle, the choice is simple. Thompson Chevrolet. Located on M19 just north of Ubley, it's a short drive to find the best quality cars, trucks, and SUVs on the market. Come in and check out the award-winning Chevy Blazer, Chevy Equinox, or the strongest, most advanced Chevy Silverado in its history. With free pickup and delivery on service appointments. With GM-certified mechanics, keep your vehicle in top-performing shape year-round with Thompson Chevrolet. If your next new vehicle is not on the lot, they can get it for you, no problem at all. The latest models are here, so come in, check them out, and find out why so many go Thompson. GoThompsonChevrolet.com. Find new roads. Left side or right side, you're listening to The Strong Side on Sports Radio 102.1 live on YouTube. We're down to our final minutes here. Let's talk about some 8-player football. Not everyone's in the playoffs. They're still down to their few teams here, and we have a few teams here in Division 1 of 8-player football. This is a larger section. Morris hosting Kingston, Deckerville at Merrill. Mayville hosts Genesee, and Flint International at Adrian Lenawee Christian. Deckerville going to be have their hands full against Merrill, their first year down at 8-player football.
Yeah, Merrill got off to a really nice start, suffered a loss against Portland St. Patrick, and obviously the 4th seed, so they suffered another loss. But Merrill's a tough team. This is a tough region. Your state champion could come out of this region.
Absolutely, and you got to look at Morris. I mean, they have been just on fire right from the get-go. Be interested to see if Mayville can be the team that escapes the other side and meets Morris or not. I think Mayville has had a pretty nice season themselves.
In the second division, this is the smaller division. It's the closest thing to a clean path, or at least a doable path, for the North Huron Warriors. They are the number 1 seed in their district, and they're going to go host the Augrey Sims. This game, you thinking it's on Saturday, you said?
It's not confirmed yet, but talked to Coach Chad Knobloch and leaning towards Saturday at possibly 5 p.m., but that has not been confirmed at this moment.
So we'll have those details as we progress here. And then Peck is hosting Ashley, Bay City All Saints hosting Carsonville Port Sanilac, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart hosting the Akron Fairgrove Vikings. So Dave Hansen, what are your thoughts here?
I absolutely love the North Huron Warriors. They're in a great spot here to go ahead and take down this bracket. And then we could take a look at the other side. And there's a couple of household names there that I think they may run into, starting with Portland St. Patrick.
Yeah, North Huron's beat almost every team in their region. Heavy favorite. Only had 2 home games throughout the regular season. Guaranteed 3 home games if they keep winning. So I think North Huron's gonna make a little history and win a regional on its home field. That's a special season for the Warriors.
Well, we're down to our final moments here of the Strong Side, and thank you to everyone who listened here tonight. The game of the week here will be this Friday. The Lakers on the road at the Bad Axe Hatchets in quite the rematch between two Greater-than-West foes, just two played 2 weeks ago. In Bad Axe won on the road. We'll see if the Lakers can return the favor or if the Bad Axe Hatchets can remain hot for the next few weeks. Left side or right side, you're listening to The Strong Side. It was being brought to you by our lovely sponsors. Go to WLWsports.com. You can see them there. Also, watch the replay anytime you'd like. Go to YouTube and just search for WLAW Sports. On behalf of Paul P. Adams, Dave Hansen, I'm Clark Ramsey. Thank you for listening.